Bam.
Does anybody have any movie news?
Let's see.
No.
How about trailers?
Okay.
Anybody seen the trailer Lifelike?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
But that's okay. Oh, look at you. Think you're...
See, I actually, I kind of copied this outfit.
Right?
This
Look at
one?
you, and you got
See?
your Bruce Lee shirt on.
Oh, shit.
I thought
That was one of the best
First-
scenes.
He was such an awesome character
I
that I
know.
just kind of wanted to embody it a little bit and try
Yeah.
to soak in a
Are
little
you
bit
going
of
to be
his
Tony
awesomeness.
Stark or are you going to be Brad Pitt?
Well, I don't have the hair or the body for certainly
No.
certainly not for Brad Pitt.
no, I think you
He
could do
does.
Brad Pitt.
He does the only topless scene in the movie, and he's pretty.
And
He's
it
buff.
was worth seeing just for that.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a specimen. Like
Oh.
that was
Okay,
a solid
all right.
one.
Save it for the show. Save it
Yes,
for
hey
the
for
show.
a show. Specimens.
He was. There were 3 quite tasty specimens.
They showed plenty of Margot Robbie too.
They did, yeah.
Oh, see, now you get.
I mean, not topless, obviously, but
Right, not at all, but just looking beautiful
yes,
and
just
little short
gorgeous.
skirts with
Mhm.
everybody
butt
was
shots, lots of little
perfectly-
swinging butt shots,
Mhm.
top of her boots
Tiny
and
little-
stuff.
Tiny little
Yeah, she is
60s
the
butt.
Yes,
Tan.
hot mama of this time.
Everybody was nice and
she was
tan.
so perfect for that. Oh.
Mm.
All right, we should. Oh well,
Say hello.
that's
The pre-show.
well, yeah.
The
We'll
pre-show. We'll
put
put
that in as extras for the hardcore fans.
I have mama.
red leather, yellow leather. Just
Okay,
make sure
there you
that's
go.
on it.
I mean, we were hyped when we got there. I was.
Although, as
Yeah.
predicted, we did actually leave on a high too. I mean,
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. You're high. Yeah, definitely.
I came home. I couldn't go. Well, I had all the caffeine, but
right?
but the
well, I
movie
did too.
itself.
So I was, yeah. I mean,
I was asleep in like 4 minutes.
oh, I putzed around. I took a shower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
I was like,
No, I did read
Oh,
through this a little
why
bit.
don't we record? We can talk about what we did.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we're doing here?
Yeah. All
Is
right.
that what you do for a podcast?
The chit chat is the show. I mean, lately.
Nope. Those aren't glasses. Those aren't pillows.
Let me hear a deep.
I mean, you look cool, but
Can't see. From Milwaukee, it's Movie Chatter.
How's it
what's
going?
up, guys?
Hey, everybody.
Woohoo! It's a Sunday.
It's a hot Sunday again.
Oh, my
Hot
just
Sunday
bumped
and
all
there's
over
a
the place.
California avalanche.
Oh my God. You're drinking Avalanche Amber beer.
Oh, that's where that word came from.
I just thought it popped into your,
Just popped into my
your
head.
conscience.
Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting how that's so subtly put in there?
Mm.
And
Okay.
you've got
Yeah, this is straight
nice soda.
Hanson's natural pomegranate soda. It's actually pretty terrible.
Ooh. Oh,
It's just
okay.
Is it cheap?
No, I got it when I was in Colorado. I was at this nice brand new hotel. I didn't get to tell you guys much about that, but I got
140 calories.
it. Yeah, it's real cane sugar.
Mm.
This is my
Oh, I like
substitute
that.
for caffeine or alcohol.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Sure, right?
Sugar rush. Gotta have something.
Right.
And me,
Gotta
I
be
haven't.
something.
So it's
been
terrible?
in a
How can it
while.
be terrible? It looks so fancy.
It's not terrible. It's just not something I would grab, you know.
Strawberry.
Hey, I forgot
Regularly.
Bill actually can talk now.
That's right. I haven't. I can't talk real loud, but I've got my voice back. I had it. My whole esophagus and everything was like
Wow.
burnt by. I guess like reflux.
Yeah.
you
I would
know,
say
ouch,
like
burnt
too
me
much
out.
chili dogs. I would say bad
Oh,
diet.
absolutely,
Bad
bad
diet.
diet. Yeah.
Well, glad you
haven't
can
had
talk
a beer
again.
in 21 days.
What? Dude.
And I've been eating like, bananas, rice,
Oh,
plain
good
chicken.
for you.
Just
you
trying
know.
to get trying to
I
get
Yeah.
bet. I
There's
bet
a-
you feel fantastic.
Well, I've lost 6 pounds.
You can
I've
tell,
gotten to
you look good.
176, and I was
Hey, nice.
185 about 3 weeks ago.
It's not
Nice.
about the weight; it's the feeling you get.
Yeah, it's nice to turn and you go, wow, there's nothing pushing against my belt.
There you go.
So,
That's
yeah, my
good.
voice is getting there. It's getting
Sounds
there.
great.
When you
Good.
get when you get to
Yeah.
drink
Sounds
beer
Sounds
again.
great.
I would say another week, at least. So they give you
Really?
these pills, Prevlisec.
Yep.
It stops your
That's
stomach
like a-
from emitting.
That's one that's advertised on the TV quick.
Yeah, but it's not a you know, if you take it too much, you could damage your liver and
Oh, really?
kidney and everything. It's not, you know.
It's no joke.
Even though you can buy it over the counter, it's pretty strong.
I take a Ratadine if we're going to talk acid reducers.
Wow.
I go with the generic Kirkland brand, but my doctor said that those are fine. You can take 75 or 150 milligrams of that every day, no problem.
Oh, okay.
And then that prevents that reflux.
Mm.
I
Talk
recommend
about
it.
that
I
later.
recommend
What
it.
is it
Treat
called?
the source.
I used to go through like a bottle of Tums
My God.
all the time.
Maybe
And
we
I
got
do
this
right
in our
now, but
family.
that's
Can we
doesn't
talk about
work.
my hips and stuff?
Yeah.
So
This
good to
week-
be back. Good to
How's
be
your
back.
back, Kelly? Is it
Oh,
okay?
good. You know, it's got a little more strain than I'm used to, but that's only going to get worse. So.
Is
I'm
that
good.
because of all the kids at your house these days? or
Oh,
just
that
in
too.
general?
Yes. Well, and the kid in me,
Aye.
she's getting bigger and bigger.
That's
Almost let
very
that
cool.
name slip, didn't you?
you were. I saw the twinkle in your eye. You thought you had it.
Is it picked?
It's butter. It
It's
is butter.
true. It's gonna be better. That'll be at least what Mason calls her.
Well, nowadays,
That is the best
your
nickname ever.
generation seems to have names that like hark back to the 20s. You know, like there's Ethels and
That's
there's
true.
some Piper and
You're-
Avery.
You're right on the money, Bill.
Layla. And
Uh-oh.
She's going vintage?
Mm-hmm. I'm going vintage.
He didn't actually mention
Lucy,
it, did he?
Rose.
No, he did not.
It's not Beatrix.
No, he's gonna keep guessing. He's
Not
like,
Beatrix.
No,
What's
but
her
I'm just,
reaction?
I'm just talking about
No.
my
I
neighbors
have
who
an
have had
interesting
kids and what their kids' names
Tidbit
are.
about Uma
Lucy.
Thurman later.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
Lucy's so cute.
Rose. These are all names from way back
Lucy
when.
would be good.
Oh yeah.
Lucy Lou.
I might have.
You always
a,
got to link it up
I
with
might
the,
have a
with
new
the last name.
competitor.
Might have to link it up with your, it's got to sound good, right? You
In a
gotta,
middle too. You gotta have a
it's
flow.
got to have a flow. You got
And
to
now
think the whole thing out.
we also started the discussion of how
Think
does
about
it
the
go with the
initials.
sibling too.
There you go,
Like
right?
if we're gonna yell at you both in one sentence,
Yes.
like how does that flow together?
That's why, because we were like an afterthought. So was Dave and Don, the two young ones. You could say that real easy,
Yeah,
'cause you
it was
guys
like
were all
10 years later.
Right.
Yeah, so she had 4 or 5.
We were getting
6,
yelled
6.
at by
Has
like
anybody seen Dave
by
and Don?
everybody.
everybody.
No.
They're under the patio. Go scoop them up.
Get out of there.
Shoo them up. Get a broom.
You guys
Get a
had
broom.
free
We can't
reign.
get
you
them
can do
anymore.
whatever you want.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm just learning now how much you
How
were
much
bad
trouble
boys.
you got into.
Bad boys.
Bad boy.
That's
Which
my,
is they're redoing that movie, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Just to get back to movie chatter.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, we're
Will
gonna talk
Smith
about
and
movies. Yeah.
what's his name?
The funny guy.
Episode what?
81.
81.
82.
Oh yeah.
This is the #1 song for 1981.
Wow.
Is this Jessie girl?
Betty Davis.
Oh,
eyes.
Betty Davis girl. I know, because I'm just looking at Urgent by Foreigner was big. Every Little Thing
This
by
is-
the Police.
I was right? Betty Davis eyes.
Is this the right one?
1981.
This actually sounds like a.
A remaster.
Yeah.
Oh, we couldn't afford the rights to the original,
Right.
so
Oh, here it
we
is.
had to just
Wait,
get that
Here
one.
we go.
Yeah. Great song.
That was Betty Schnavis. This is the real one.
It's Betty Schwartz eyes. Yeah, this was on the radio all the time. You could not get away from this song in 1981.
The
Could you?
movie 9 to 5, there was still.
That song was
I mean,
a hit.
yeah, it was a hit. It was still alive. Was 9 to 5 1981?
No, it was
No.
80.
1980,
Because I
but
mentioned
the
it last
song was actually big in 1981.
Oh sure. Well, it takes a minute to get to
We
circulate.
had, what other movies do we have in 1981?
Yeah, because
we haven't
I-
talked about any movies. So
We didn't
far.
talk
Right.
about anything, so
Betty
let's talk
Davis.
about the year here.
Yeah, there were some good
I'll
ones.
tell you, four of my
Stripes.
favorites.
Stripes was a good one.
Stripes, we
That
can talk about
immediately
that.
shot
Raiders
to
of
the
the Lost
top
Ark.
of my list.
Heavy Metal. One of
Heavy
my
Metal.
favorites.
That-
Evil Dead.
Ooh,
Halloween.
Evil Dead was 81?
Yep. Friday the 13th 2.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I mean, if you look back at the whole beginning of the 80s, and just around that time, it was a great time for horror movies. Some of the classics. We talked about The Shining last week,
Right?
1980. The Thing, 82.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Dead's 81, along.
Okay.
And then Halloween 2, but Halloween, which was big, 1978. Friday the 13th, and I think there was 5 or 6 of those. 1980.
Good stuff.
Alien, 79. Amityville Horror, 79. Poltergeist, one of my favorites, 82.
Point taken. Point taken. There's a lot
Phantasm,
of
Scanners.
good horror.
Fog,
You
Nightmare
know
on
what?
Elm
But
Street.
when isn't there good horror? I mean, if you went to
It's
the
always
mid
there.
80s, like right now, look, I bet you if you made a list of 19, there's a hell of a good list there. It Returns,
Yeah, they're better than ever.
Midsommar,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's
Pet
quality.
Cemetery. Anyways, but there were a lot of good ones for sure. Have you
Yeah, and
have you
they-
seen any of those recently?
The Shining.
81. We're doing 81.
81.
Of the 81,
Yeah,
what have I
we're talking
seen?
about 81.
Yeah,
You watched Stripes this week, right?
Stripes.
Stripes.
And I thought, well, I'll just.
Bill Murray.
How was it? Rewatching it again.
I thought, well, I have seen this plenty times, and yeah, it was good and all that, but you know, I can talk about it without even watching it because I've seen it so many times. But-
Right. You think
So I
so?
put it on for 15 minutes and thinking, wow, that's just gonna, and I watched the whole thing.
Really?
Yes, and I've got the extra 18-minute version here.
Okay, cool.
And there was some pretty wild extras. When the 18 minutes, when that comes up, it'll say extra scene. Little flashes on the screen.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know that's
Maybe a little cue in the
'cause
corner.
You would never remember back to 1981.
Sure.
And
That's fun.
you know, it was funny. It was pretty naughty. I don't remember there was a lot
A lot of
of nudity in
a
there.
lot of good lines.
Nudity in it? In
Yes.
Stripes?
Yes.
Don't
Oh
remember
yeah,
that
a lot
at all.
of topless and even
Bottomless.
yes. I can't.
Really?
Yes, if you watch that, you can't believe it. Yeah, there's one scene where the colonel, he's got this telescope, and he's
Showing.
looking out the back window into the women's shower.
Really?
And
I don't remember that.
they're
Oh, I guess maybe I remember.
Remember that? And
the
they're,
women's shower.
Standing
back in
around.
those days in the
A lot of pubes.
1980s.
You're talking about a lot of pubes.
Right, they didn't shave like they do
Right, yep.
today. And very funny.
Nature's covering.
Ivan Reitman. This was he was only on Saturday Night Live. Bill Murray only for about 1 year, and he had done Meatballs. Then he was on.
I love
this.
meatballs.
But he would
Well,
only do this with.
We just talked about Groundhog Day.
Yeah, another good one.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack with the
Oh,
Groundhog.
right.
That was
right.
80 or 79.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so
That was
he
80
was
as
the
well.
hottest thing.
Hot.
And I watched the Ivan Reitman talk about the movie afterwards, and he said there was a lot of where they just let him go and redo it.
Oh, I'm
In-
sure. The
in
improv.
fact, part of the way that he got Bill Murray to be on there was he said
There he
Harold
is.
Ramis would write. So Harold Ramis, even though he was the actor,
Mhm.
he wrote this
Yeah, well, he did a lot of that stuff.
half of it,
Yeah.
and he would write half of it that day
Oh, wow.
or on the moment.
Really?
Or they would just go, okay, we're gonna just run down the mountain and we're gonna act silly.
Sure. Well, they had the general story.
Boom, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
They're movie makers. It's good
So-
stuff.
That's how the best stuff happens, and the best chemistry and
Mhm.
on scene and stuff.
John Candy, that was his first.
Was it really?
Yep.
Oh, is that another 81 song there?
Jesse's Girl.
Jesse's
I'll be filtering them in.
All right.
Nice. If we
Yeah,
talk
Harold
over it-
Ramis, I think this was his first movie, and he did very.
Is it
good.
really?
He looks
Yeah.
like a baby. That's
Yeah.
something you forget. I know
And then he
Bill.
wrote Groundhog Day, which is one of our favorites.
Yep.
Bill Murray was,
Number
Yeah.
2.
yeah.
Absolutely. He was. Didn't we discuss this last night a little bit? And something about in the beginning of the movie, he was kind of a prima donna when they were filming it. Everybody else got their head shaved, but he refused to get his head shaved
Oh yeah, we talked
for that opening
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
So he was.
Right.
Ah, okay.
You might not notice if you're not thinking about it, but he did not.
I
shave
think
his
about
head.
that.
The lesser characters got
Oh,
their heads shaved.
every military movie, haircuts are very important because
Yeah.
they don't let that go by.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's actually
No.
two. Right, and
Like
even
MASH.
Harold Ramis didn't cut his hair down
Oh,
all the
okay.
way either. So I noticed that. I didn't realize. That's cool.
I had heard that.
But yeah, so like when Warren Oates is asking them all to tell a little story about themselves, I don't know if you remember that part. Bill Murray goes, well, chicks like me, it's mostly because I don't wear underwear, but when I do, it's something that will surprise them. And it was just, that was all,
That was in
that was
Stripes.
all extemporaneous.
That's
Yeah.
good. He was.
It
He
does
was,
not surprise me.
he was
He's
at the top of his game.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
He really was.
Oh man, Harold Ramis has a gigantic fro in this movie. Just a great big almost 70s
lush.
fro.
Yeah.
Ivan Reitman originally wanted Cheech and Chong to do this, and Cheech and Chong wanted too much control over the movie.
Cheech and Chong were gonna do this
Yes.
It
Yeah,
would've
they
been-
said
it would've
Cheech
been
and Chong go to the
completely
army.
different.
movie?
Okay, they're big
Oh.
fuck ups. They have no money. Okay.
Totally different movie.
And they'll
Yeah.
right, they'll still try to smuggle in joints and shit, but totally different movie. Then they got Bill Murray and Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Better.
And
Much
Way
better.
better. Way better.
Isn't
I
that
mean, it would have
interesting?
been a different movie, but yeah.
Anything else from the 1981 that we were at least thinking about maybe seeing, but even didn't or remember?
I wanted to see Escape from New York. That's a Kurt
yeah, you
Russell
said
movie.
that.
It's like some futuristic where like Long Island is a giant prison.
Right.
You know the thing about that
Right.
movie is
They
though,
redid that.
it's a science
Escape from
fiction
LA.
movie,
Yeah.
right? But there's really nothing modern about
Science fiction?
science fictiony about it, except
No.
for they're locked in New York.
Right. Except
Nothing else has been.
except
There's
for
no
that
high
it's kind
tech
of a-
anything.
Huh.
dystopian future.
Yeah.
Right.
When
Yeah,
was this?
dystopian.
Do they have any kind of indication of when it takes place? Like, do they tell you?
They do.
They
do.
do,
got-
and as
Yeah.
usual, it's like 1999 or
Right,
something like
yeah.
It's
that.
always 20 years in the future,
They
right?
always do
Right.
that.
Not that much.
They never
Maybe
go
it's kind
far
of like
enough.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, ooh.
I think it could be like
I've been
that.
watching a few episodes of
Have
that.
you been?
A couple more, yeah. It's great. It's
It's
kind
on
of
my
weird.
list of things to see.
I'm all caught up.
I'm gonna
Season
skip the
3.
second season. I heard the second season is just
No, at least watch
hard
the
to
first
watch.
episode.
Okay.
No,
First
it's
and the
just,
last, just to get it in.
it's
Oh, by
not.
the way, I wanted
humorous.
to mention that. Yeah, I listened to
Please do.
Nick's show.
Oh,
You know, I listened to his on this show
Here's
last
My
week.
Take.
He was great.
he was
Then he
great.
mentioned his top 10 were, on his first show. So I listened to his first show.
I haven't done that yet. Tell
Yeah,
us
Yeah,
and
about
by
it.
the
neither.
way,
Thanks, Bill.
Halloween was one of his number one.
Oh,
So what he
cool.
did is he actually went through, I believe, 12, even though it was his top 10. He went through 12. I don't
Do you
know if I
have it down?
I
Remember any other ones besides? I
Yeah,
know
I
it
don't
said
know.
Alien.
Yeah, I don't know if I wrote
was
it
on
down
the
somewhere.
list.
I'll try to find them. But yes, Aliens was on there. And then what he would do is, he would say, honorable mentions go to. So he had like maybe 25 movies in all that he named.
Cool.
And many of them were the classics. And by the way, I agree with all of the choices you did, Nick, including Back to the Future was one of his. And
Excellent.
Very
that was
classic.
always, to me, it should have been on the poll. I
We-
thought it was
It'd
Definitely.
It'd be
Maybe a
on my
little bit,
poll.
maybe a little bit.
Mhm.
We were very much simpatico with him. I mean, we
Yeah.
seemed to get along pretty well as far as our
Oh,
tastes
yeah,
and
it
stuff
was
like,
like-
that. There was some, disagreement, but I think generally speaking, he's got similar tastes.
Mhm.
Yes, and that amazed me because we're looking at a guy who's, I'm guessing, we don't know what your age is, Nick, but
26.
26? Okay. So we've got
That's
all
out
these
there.
generations
It's
here.
out there. I'm
right?
54.
You put him
Yeah,
in there and me.
Kelly's
I'm
29.
at the end of the world, dear. And I really like to know what that age group is, what are their favorite
Is-
movies. So it was mind-blowing to me that many of them were my favorites too.
He's also a film student. I don't know that he's representative of everyone that age.
True,
definitely.
That's a good-
right.
definitely,
Yeah.
that's
It's got a
a
I
good-
little
mean,
higher-
to be fair,
Yeah, he's seen all
higher
the classics.
standards.
Yeah.
he has way more cool points than a lot of people his age.
But listen to his first show. It was very interesting.
Excellent.
Yes, it was a great time having him here.
It was. Is that all we're doing on 1981?
Unless you have.
I ain't got nothing.
I noticed The Great Muppet Caper came out in 1981, and that's when I watched a lot as a kid.
Oh, hey, I did find Nick's list. Interested?
Let's hear it.
Let's
all
hear
right.
it.
Real quick.
Dark Knight.
Boom.
Ooh.
Fast.
So what he tried to do is hit all the categories. So superhero.
Yeah.
Interstellar, Jaws, Halloween, Shining, Tropic Thunder for comedy,
There you
Oh.
go.
Hangover, Back to the Future, Blade Runner, Saving Private Ryan for war movies, Alien, Ridley Scott, Pulp Fiction.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a Tarantino movie.
See, that's
Yeah,
my thing. Is
classic.
I like to do genres because it's like
Yeah.
you can't sometimes take a movie A and B and say which one is better.
It's
There's
tough.
just you just can't.
We
Tropic
talk about
Thunder
that all
on
the
that
time.
list is the most telling.
I love that.
Yeah,
He said that amongst his friends, they know all the quotes.
Oh yeah.
yeah. That
It's
was
a
my,
forbidden movie
my
now.
favorite movie of Robert Downey Jr.'s. I mean, he's just
He is great.
what an insane character to play, and I
What
He
did
loved it
nailed
because it made fun of Hollywood.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, the different characters were
Oh yeah.
classic.
Well, we'll talk about Hollywood a little bit later, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
definitely. How about a little bit of
Some news.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Bum, bum, bum.
Did you know what happened last week?
What?
Did you know? It's not really movie news, it's actually just news. Did you hear about the asteroid that
No.
NASA wasn't able to track?
No shit.
And there was a
Ouch.
city destroying asteroid that came within 45,000 miles of us.
Ooh.
Really?
That's pretty close.
Yeah,
like,
pretty close,
Like
because
that
it-
would have been visible
Because
at
it,
some point.
it
wouldn't
came in
Sounds like it
the
should be.
direction of the sun. And
So it was like blocked by the sun.
yeah, there's a
Well, I know the moon is about double that, right? 84,000 miles.
Is that how far it is
The
only?
moon? Yeah.
yeah, so it
So
was
that was closer than the moon.
oh yeah, quite a bit.
Wow.
That seems shocking.
So then it just whizzed by and they were like, oh shit.
That
yeah,
just happened?
Yeah, it,
And how is that movie news?
it's not.
It's gonna be a
Oh, it's
movie,
just
that's
news.
why.
It could have been.
Maybe it should
Could
be.
be a future
Definitely
movie.
Yeah.
would have been.
The other
Good
bit of
plot.
movie news I have for you, the John Wick prequel is official.
Prequel.
There's a
Oh, they're gonna go
prequel.
that way.
Ooh.
Still with Keanu? I mean,
I
it
don't
has
know.
to be.
I
It's
don't
got,
know.
maybe it's like an origin story?
It is going to be a TV series
Say
called
what?
The Continental,
Oh.
and it's not coming out till 2021 now.
Is he gonna be in it?
I don't
yeah,
know.
now I want
Don't
to know
know.
if he's
Right?
gonna be in
I
it.
Don't
mean,
know.
that's a-
Don't know.
that's
Not
a
enough
reach.
information.
You're gonna have the
But it is going to be a prequel. We'll find out early John
The guy
Wick
That's who he produces.
when he was like, fumbling with a gun. Like,
yeah, right.
where's the safety?
Although they can do a lot of things now. I mean, Keanu could easily play his younger self. It's not, the effects they have now.
They're
It's
pretty
doable.
good. They're doable. Although we saw the trailer for Gemini last night
Uh-huh.
when we saw Once Upon a Time in
What do you
Hollywood.
think about that?
Yeah.
Well, I still think that the young Will Smith in there, to me, it looks a little rubbery. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Oh,
because they
okay.
de-age him.
I
Okay.
think sometimes it depends on the person and their features too, but
yeah.
And the budget, of course.
well, yeah. I mean, how many,
But
How many
yeah.
man
laps
hours
they're
you're
gonna
putting
take-
in
right,
there
right, exactly.
to polish every nook and cranny.
Did you have any more movie news, Bill? Because I have none.
No, just, it was, I think last week that Game of Thrones broke all records for the Emmys. And
Really?
I thought that was amazing. They nominated with more things than any other.
For this current season. I mean, the one that just passed by.
Yes, right.
Wow, and everybody did not like it. That's unusual.
Yeah, but they broke all
I haven't
the
heard
records.
anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm still on season 3, so.
I've been under a rock all week, so.
Didn't I feel like I have been too. But didn't like it isn't the same as not winning. I mean, winning awards and liking it are
True.
two separate branches,
How
man.
about you, Don?
Tarantino, 40+ million for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, his
That's how much
biggest
he made?
his biggest 3-day.
Opening?
Oh, that's how. Okay, that's how
Wow,
much it costs.
40 million.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing.
Nice.
That's what my sources are telling me. It hasn't been confirmed yet, and also Disney over $1 billion worldwide for Lion King.
Wow.
Already.
Wow.
Oh, I knew it was up to $500 million.
Yeah, it's gonna go over $1 billion.
Yeah,
Happened
saw that.
fast.
Saw that with my significant other last week.
What'd you think about that, Bill?
I thought that the cartoon was funnier and happier.
Okay.
This was
Darker.
more.
Boom. Enough
This-
said. That is exactly what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, and yet my significant other said that was one of the best movies she ever saw. So
Really?
it's
Still good, but
so yeah. I'd like to know if you hadn't seen that cartoon and if you saw this.
that would
that'd
be an
the
interesting
difference, right?
test.
Yeah, and just like everybody says, Seth Rogen as the warthog
They
and
kinda
his
stole the
and Tim
funny
and
part of the
was
show.
funniest. It was still funny.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
it was
they're-
like watching a documentary though. It was so beautiful,
right.
like Planet Earth, like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Jungle Book was beautiful too. That just the way that they do that now.
Oh, see, I didn't get a chance to see that. Okay.
That was good. Much like a little bit more of the challenge of no props too. I think was that too.
yes.
Like there was no real set
No
ever.
real set.
I mean, that was
I've
just
got
that
a
little boy in a
Tarantino question
green
for you
room.
guys.
Okay.
Oh boy, shoot.
Okay, I want you to put on your thinking hats. I believe I heard that Tarantino might do the next Star Trek.
He is going to write
Right,
it.
yeah.
Write it, not direct.
Okay, well, I'm asking you, how will it be different?
How will it be
I mean,
different?
will heads
Hopefully
be
bring it
chopped
up.
off? Will there
There'll
be
be a
blood?
lot of
Will
long dialogue
Will be
scenes.
Kill
Yeah.
Bill meets?
Heavy dialogue.
And yeah, and I was gonna
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
Quentin is not just violence. Like, I think what people overlook because he is so splashy with his violence in choice ways, but
Choice ways,
he
yeah.
is a storyteller.
Right.
I mean, like, he is masterful at storytelling.
Right.
So, I mean, you can apply that in a number of different ways. You might see something, Quentin, as far as a violent outburst level, but I think it's more about the storytelling.
Definitely, it's gonna, and so the Star Trek will probably have a really good base story.
Or he'll take
You
it
know,
in a
Maybe
different
the best
direction.
ever.
You know,
Right.
He could talk about like one of the guys that run the proton engine.
Right.
You know, like
Mhm.
his
Yeah.
story.
Right, exactly, and that's what like Kelly was saying. I think is what you were going after. Is I think he can take any topic and make it really kind of universal, and you know, bring like a hitman story and make it apply to each
Relatable.
relatable. There you go. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Tarantino. Bring it. Well, we should
I was
just
gonna
jump
say,
right
we might.
to,
Can we just dive right in?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's
you
what I was
guys
gonna say
saw
about
this.
the storytelling part. Like, this movie even had slow points we were talking about, which was
Quite.
on purpose. You know, it was part of the build, the crescendo of the story. But I love Quentin Tarantino so much, and I am such a fan of his storytelling. I wasn't the least bit annoyed by that at all. I was like, I just settled in. I was like, I know you're doing this for a reason. Take me there. Like,
All right.
what is
So,
the story that
I'm
you're
let's,
telling?
totally
let's,
with
let's
you.
back it up a hair.
Totally with you.
Once upon a time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
159 minutes. We went to see it at 9:20
Last
at
night.
night.
So the possibility of having 4 people asleep during the movie was,
It was-
very
yeah.
possible.
Very
It's a
possible.
valid
Yeah, we've
concern.
talked about this, how that
But it
does
didn't
impact.
happen.
It
Did-
does.
Did it happen? Did it soften? Did it take
Oh.
away anything from you?
I had to fight
Yeah.
a little bit of sleepiness about
Maybe.
the last hour.
Right.
I was drinking a big caffeine beverage.
Okay.
Like 90 minutes in, I was like, okay.
At no time did I
A
doze
little bit.
off, but
Right.
I went.
No.
I was straining.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it
So
is a
that
little bit
affected-
long. What else you got?
Let's see. Columbia Pictures. It was the first time it wasn't a. Who's that bad guy? Weinstein.
Oh, that's right.
You know
Harvey.
Weinstein.
That.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He had a bidding war, and Sony won. A lot of big companies were after it after he pulled the Weinstein production off of it.
It's really
Immediately,
gonna shake things up in Hollywood.
there was quite a bit of trailers,
Very
and
interesting.
to start off the movie,
Yeah.
I noticed immediately when they went from trailers to this movie,
Yeah.
the sound quality cranked up to like 11.
Nice.
Where there was like a dog running across the street and you could hear
Its
his
nails on the
feet.
pavement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean his editing or mixing of sound was
It
mind-boggling.
really was. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and not just everything, just the music, the cuts.
Music was good.
damn.
Oh, the music was amazing.
So it had to be of that time, I imagine, right?
Oh yes, and he spared no expense paying attention to every detail
He
with
really
with
did.
product placement, with the wardrobe, with
The wardrobe.
yes,
The sets. I mean, they really all the streets
yes,
were completely redone to look, exactly like 1969. All the theaters all had, they're obviously all super accurate, and it was great to just,
yes.
as they're driving down the road, you'd look up and see all the theaters and try to pick out what movie was playing because
Right.
they would be there, and they were real. So it was
And
all real stuff.
That would be another
was-
reason to watch this again
Mhm.
and pour over those details because there
sure.
was so
Oh,
much
God.
there, and they took that was part of why it was a little long. We were saying you noticed
Yeah.
that is like he takes that extra moment to let you look at the street where
does.
in another movie that would probably be a 2-second shot. You
Mhm.
got the point across of where they were. That wasn't this. You
No.
were immersed
He
in
was-
that world in
He
that
was
time.
purposely lingering.
Yes, purposefully lingering.
It reminded me of how much I enjoy Mad Men. Completely different,
Yeah.
but you're like in
Right.
a different time.
Yes.
Right, and they
Yes.
also
Here
just
you're in-
let you really
You
feel
are
it.
1969.
Mm-hmm.
The pace, perfectly. I mean, you're
How about
totally
the language? Like, I don't know, were there
perfect.
different colloquialisms or something that they would use?
Yeah, I mean, there certainly was every
A little bit.
all
a
the
little,
flower
yeah.
child kind of talk.
Well,
They
Brad Pitt
Put a little
and
bit of that in there.
Brad Pitt and DiCaprio weren't, peace-loving guys.
Oh no, they were.
So they're the
Rick Dalton was saying,
I
"Fucking
got a damn hippies.
goddamn hippies!
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the hell off my street!"
right. So they saved it that way. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
Flower Childs, anytime you saw them,
Yeah.
they were.
Well, they still had
Fuck
that,
you,
that
pig.
pop culture represented for sure, but it wasn't told from that point of view.
No.
Okay.
So
Just
it
a little
wasn't
bit
that. But their characters were phenomenal. I mean,
So phenomenal.
Leo really dove deep for this, and
He did. I think it's. I mean, that's the main storyline. Is Rick Dalton, and he. It was just a fantastic
knocked it out of the
performance.
park.
The cast. Have you looked at this cast? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so awesome.
We all
I mean,
got this.
gigantic.
Brad Pitt. So
Leonardo
it's kind of
DiCaprio,
funny that it's
Margot
about
Robbie.
Hollywood, and yet the cast is currently
It's
some
all
of the
Hollywood.
Hollywood people. You know.
Well, and won't give anything away other than basic synopsis, but Rick Dalton is an aging star. He's
Right.
had all these leading roles, and now he's getting to the point where he may not be as valuable to that, high leading man role kind of
Right.
a deal. And you wonder, what Leo tapped into of his own life
absolutely.
career.
He's-
to
Yeah,
see
both of
that.
those guys are
Oh,
getting
yeah.
older.
But he is at the.
He's prime. I
He's
mean,
prime.
he can be a lead man
Yeah, he's gonna ride
for a
it out
long,
pretty
long
nice.
time. But I
Rick
mean,
Dalton's is no Leo
but
DiCaprio.
it certainly would be well within his immediate circle of personal experience.
Oh, for
you
sure,
know what I
for
mean?
sure. I mean, just the human nature.
And
of,
he's in that industry,
You're
and
growing old.
that made perfect sense.
Like
But
just getting older.
yeah, himself. Just regardless if you're a star.
and I
Yeah,
loved
you feel
Brad Pitt's character too.
If you talk about the cast a little too
Me
much,
too.
it would be spoilerish.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Brad
Did
Pitt
you-
was a stuntman, right?
Yes, he
Please.
plays his stuntman.
Cliff Booth.
Did you notice in the opening scene, the very first two names that came up, obviously, when they were driving in the car and we were behind them, they swapped the names? Leonardo DiCaprio was under Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt was under Leo.
I
Was
did
it really?
notice
I
that.
did
Yes,
not notice
I noticed that immediately. I mean, I would know their silhouettes anywhere, but I was like, oh, I see what you did there, Quinn.
So he's just messing with it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
Cool.
funny. I heard he was, just called this like the, kind of like a Newman Redford for our time. That, because they're both at that level. And they,
It's such a basic story. You can't really talk about it. You can't
You
spoil
can't
it.
You
Well,
can't.
you can't deep dive it. It's.
Well, I can. How about this? Here's for
let's
a
try to
topic.
figure this
A
out.
topic for conversation. We were all gushing about it right as we were coming home.
Yeah.
As soon as I got out of the car and driving home with my significant other, she actually said,
Meh.
was too long.
Yeah.
Story, not much of a story, and didn't know the actual what was going to happen in the end, and how it's related to everybody knows it's the Manson story kind of, and it was confusing. So I think that, and I've looked at some reviews too. What do you
A
guys
lot of
think?
people had negative reviews.
Right,
I
it was
saw.
like if you're not a Tarantino fan and you just don't love sucking up all of the Tarantino au jus, it was like a pretty basic. It was like not a lot of story.
Right.
It was like the
It
ending
was-
was fantastic.
It was characters that you're
It
really
was
diving
characters.
into.
It wasn't like, a heist movie where there's this, that, and the other thing going on.
Well, and like
You're
when-
just following.
sometimes his are very complicated too, and this wasn't. I mean, like Pulp
No.
Fiction, you're watching very
Yes.
complex, simultaneous storylines that if you missed 10 minutes, you'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Right.
In
Here you
another
got
10
Margot
minutes.
Robbie, who's just basically smiling the whole time.
Right? Yeah.
And that's one of the main stories you're following.
Yeah.
And it's her just being an angel. I think he even calls her like an angelic figure throughout the movie.
I think it was, just a movie for Sharon Tate, just showing
Yes.
Yes.
how much he respected her
Yeah.
or whatever. Like
I know he
Showing
worked
her
with
as
her
a-
with her sister.
As a human, not a
Oh, he
victim.
did.
Like,
He did, yes.
you get to know her and adore her again and see her as, this loving star as
Yeah.
opposed to always being talked about as a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
The real
So-
person. I actually heard that Margot Robbie actually wore some of her actual real jewelry that
cool.
got from her sister in the movie.
really.
Interesting.
Get
Yeah, I
some-
mean, they made her as delightful of a
Mhm.
human being as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
As Margot Robbie probably really is.
And then you had Brad Pitt's character that you followed through. That was another one, and he was the stuntman living in a grungy trailer with a kick-ass pit bull.
Right?
That was crazy.
Oh.
That was crazy. I had macaroni and cheese today.
Because of that scene, I'm sure.
There's a macaroni and cheese scene.
Yeah. And we talked about that. That was another one of the lingering moments where, you know, in most movies, I feel like they would just show a box and you're like, all right, he's eating mac and cheese. That's what I needed to
pours
get
it
out
in,
of
and
that.
then they cut to him on the couch eating it.
Right. But no, on him, it was like him pouring in the milk and then the cheese packet, like ripping it open and putting it in. And then they lingered on the pan and showed him like stirring in the cheese sauce for another 12 seconds.
Literally.
That's why today Dave was like, I think I'll have me some mac and cheese.
I just got a hankering.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
All right, now you're showing the tomato meter there that 85% with the reviewers, but 73, which is awfully high.
Okay.
But lower.
But a little lower.
Right. So
Yeah, 73 is low, I would think.
Yeah.
But you know,
Tarantino has quite a following of the reviewers.
it isn't a movie for an average
No, it's not.
person. Not
It's
that
not.
we're above average,
Would
we're
I
just
take
into
my
movies, you know?
Right.
significant other who hates violent movies?
There's very little violence,
Very
Yeah.
little violence.
but it is severe.
It's not nearly as raw, even dialogue, as a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies.
You're right.
I mean,
It's not.
The
I mean,
violence is necessary.
and it's
is.
only, and you could turn away for
right.
a
You
minute
can give
and
her
half.
a warning, and
It
that's
is
only
2 hours and 45 minutes, and I would say there's about
Wow.
4 minutes of violence.
right. It's
Okay.
very,
Well,
very
you know,
light for
come
him.
to think of it, I mean, we watch Game of Thrones, and
Yeah, you could not
Yes.
get more violent than
Yeah,
that.
there you
Oh
go.
yeah.
yeah. So I guess it can be tolerated.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very violent show.
Ooh, how about a fun couple characters from the movie?
Yeah, let's get to
Maya Hawke plays
Yep, we talked
the
about
flower
that.
child. You know who's
Scoops Ahoy.
it. Wait,
Scoops Ahoy? She's from Stranger
Stranger
Things,
Things.
who is Ethan Hawke's daughter. But also, I just learned that her mom is Uma Thurman.
No way.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Who?
I forgot that they
Yeah.
used to be together.
Maya Hawke is Uma Thurman's daughter, and Tarantino has a lot of Uma Thurman movies.
Is
I-
Maya?
So
Maya
there's
Hawke-
another link.
Hold
I'm
on.
sure they've been to each other's
She
played
family gatherings. Like,
Oh,
I
sure.
guarantee
She's probably
you.
he's probably been
Known
with
her since she was itty bitty.
and now she's playing the flower child.
Sure, Tarantino at the barbecue.
Oh, for
Maya
sure.
Hawke.
Maya
Yes,
Hawke.
that's who we're talking about.
I can't find her.
Oh, I can't find
She
it.
plays flower child.
Oh, I know. I'm looking. I can't
Oh.
find her.
Interesting.
Dakota Fanning, we said, was a interesting character in there. You wouldn't even know it was her. Didn't she play?
Oh God. Yeah.
She plays
She
Squeaky
played like
Fromm.
a dingy,
Who's a real
hippie
character.
Perfect.
squatting.
Squeaky Fromm is like the main Manson killer. Right?
Yes,
She's
right.
in prison. Yeah. So
Right, she's still in prison.
yeah, she
Oh,
was she
really?
was she was scary.
Yes.
Al,
Well, yeah,
Al
Very-
Pacino.
Al Pacino.
he was great in that role too. I mean,
It was perfect for him.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
As the agent of Rick Dalton.
hmm
Kurt Russell.
Also perfect for that cameo
You loved
role.
seeing Kurt Russell in there.
Yes.
Luke Perry's last movie ever.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I
He
didn't
was
even realize
posthumously
that.
in this movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't really a great part for him, but
There was that young girl actress.
Margaret.
Mar-
Pussycat.
Yes.
N-
No,
uh,
no, 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 not.
Oh no, that was
Pussycat.
the other. I was thinking of
The
like
little girl.
the adolescent, the 12,
That has-
8-year-old. She said she was.
That
and
has the scene with Rick Dalton.
she's
on the
actually in
show.
the show American Housewife.
I don't have it.
I'll find it.
Yeah, Margaret. That was a great scene with the two of them talking. Like,
Yeah.
she's obviously a very talented actor, but then her playing off of Leo being so deep in character, that was just, I thought it was awesome.
And then he has this really touching moment with her.
How would you compare this to any previous Tarantino movie, like I don't know, Pulp Fiction, anything?
Some people, I think he
I would
said
say it's a matured version.
Yeah. Oh,
of
yeah. That's
Tarantino.
matured is a very good way
it
to
does
put it.
follow several storylines. So in that way, some people
Ah.
have said that this is most similar to Pulp Fiction in that it follows 3 independent storylines.
Kind of merging
That cross
eventually.
intertwine here
Right,
and there.
that
that they
intertwine.
show
Do they
you.
flashback or anything like they did in
Oh, yeah.
Pulp Fiction? Oh.
Not
Yeah.
nearly like Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Not
There's
right,
not,
right,
I
not
mean, like
stories.
flash forwards and flashbacks and.
No, but there's a
you
lot of
know.
like Rick Dalton doing movies and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, they kind of explain it. If they mention something interesting, they may just go to a clip
Right.
of how that happened.
Yes.
Julia
was-
Butters.
It made sense though. It wasn't like
They never got back to Brad Pitt's character on the boat.
oh
Remember?
right, you didn't know exactly what happened.
Well,
Oh, I love that scene.
But I
right?
think
You
that
guys
was-
are all smiling and
but
laughing.
that-
Must
but
have been
that-
good.
That was I feel like that was you needed to because
that was perfect.
you wanted to like suspect but not
Right, you needed to keep that doubt.
you needed well and because you had to ultimately be on his side.
Right,
Like,
right. You didn't want to see
we
that.
empathized with him the whole movie and he was one of the heroes that you're rooting for.
And
So
they're
you-
making Brad Pitt, his history,
A little bit.
kind of negative.
Yeah, like
they throw some shade at something that could have happened, but
he plays a Green Beret, a former Green Beret who's now a stuntman,
Okay.
and he's got a pretty rough background,
Okay. Interesting.
cowboy.
And a well-known rough background
right.
Right.
Very publicized.
where people don't even want to work with him.
So you see it at 9:20 after all the review or the trailers and all that stuff. 2 hours and 45 minutes. You get out about midnight, huh?
Well,
About
after-
12:30.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was
It was a
crazy.
late-
So
night.
when your significant other says it was a long movie,
It's
That's
understandable.
part of it too.
Yeah.
it's late at night too. Maybe it just
Oh,
You're
You know-
gonna have to want to see a long movie.
right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah okay.
Mhm.
You're gonna want to see this movie and not want it to end. Would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that's
what I
the
mean, like,
attitude
you're-
you have to have. You're
Right.
going in it not just to be entertained for a little bit and then you're gonna goof around after or something or like a little date. But no, this is a
You are being immersed
Yeah, I
in
was
this world.
You
when I
need
was
to be a
talking to my
fan.
brother about it this morning. That's one thing I mentioned. I was like, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, so just be ready for that. And of course, he's a huge Quentin fan too, so he's like, oh, I don't care. I don't
Oh,
care about that.
well, then he'll like it,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yep.
I mean, your favorite movies, you want them to be as long as possible.
Right. That's just it. We've
Why
been
would you wanna cut
anticipating this, so
Mm-hmm.
it'd be hard to. I mean, but we all felt it. We all kind of mentioned that it was a little long. It was
And
like
I'm-
indulgently long.
Yes, and I'm sure that's a perfect word for it. But I'm sure I noticed that even a little bit more because it was my bedtime. Like, yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
was like, I really don't need to see this for another 30 seconds to a minute. You probably could have cut this already, but I'm gonna let it slide.
Do you think you could make an accurate grade? Because it is we did press the sounder.
Well,
It's a movie review.
how about I ask you guys my
Yeah, let's.
okay
Oh yeah, let's
We'll
do
go
it.
with,
let's vintage Bill.
sure.
I like it.
screenplay. What I mean the writing.
10.
All right, 10.
Yeah, phenomenal.
10.
It's all gonna be tens
Well,
for me.
Sure, that's all right.
We'll do an average for
Me-
all of us.
Okay. Sure. let's
Okay.
Sound off.
Music.
10.
10.
10.
So you might even buy the soundtrack.
I,
Oh,
I
yes.
was already looking for it.
Oh my gosh!
Available
All right.
July 26th. So.
Plot. Now, of course, I'm watching the trailer. I guess Manson family. And
9.
Okay. I'd say
It was really good. I mean,
was it a surprising plot? No.
no, okay, so
And
maybe
a twist to it? Did he change it much?
I want to say.
You don't want to give too much away.
I mean,
here.
right,
plot.
Okay. All right.
Does plot mean writing, or does it mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like, are
love
we
the way it was
talking like
written.
the?
Yeah. Okay. It does mean writing.
Yeah, I would say because
like-
like how thick was the plot? What are we talking about?
Right. It wasn't a really big plot.
Right.
It was foul. It was really getting inside his head. Rick Dalton, like, a lot of life kind of struggles and just there wasn't a lot of story.
You know,
The plot was
sometimes
emotional.
Sometimes
yeah,
that
there's
is
character
hard.
development.
It
Thank
was
you. That's
ultimate.
It was a heavy character
All right.
development built into the writing.
Acting and casting.
10 and 10.
10.
11.
12.
Okay.
Yeah, that's there. It couldn't have been better.
I'm gonna guess you're gonna say sound was good.
Oh my God, it was
Dave's the sound guy.
right,
He
right
was
off the bat.
impressed.
I mean, it was phenomenal.
I'll defer to Dave
I
and say
love
10.
that. Yeah, I love that. Where you can close your eyes and listen to it.
Well, it was such a big noticeable difference from the trailers to when this movie started.
Oh.
It was like, having one of your headphones only one earpiece work, and all of a sudden, boom, you get stereo and
Mhm.
whoosh.
Nice, nice. Where'd you guys see it?
The
The
Majestic.
Majestic.
The Majestic.
Brookfield.
Ooh.
But it was at a small theater, in a
Oh,
small room.
Really
Okay.
odd. Really
It wasn't THX or anything.
odd.
like that.
No.
This isn't relevant. Sometimes, like, special effects would be pertinent for Star Trek,
Was there?
but that's or Jurassic Park. I don't think
Sure.
that's-
Sure. I mean, there's no monsters in this movie, obviously.
Right. No spaceships.
All right.
But violence matters. How you choose to.
How well
I'll
did
choose
they
to show it.
do?
That's
Yeah.
true. Special
Okay.
effects. Right, there was some to do with the
How
violent
believable,
scene.
and sometimes it you see too much.
Yeah, it was a lot of practical stuff. I'm thinking of one scene quite towards the end where there was some graphic stuff going on, and I certainly was super believable.
I'm gonna say
It was
that
all real.
it's in the trailer.
And even the fight too.
in the trailer,
Right.
the Nazi movie
Okay.
with the flamethrower.
Right.
You probably have seen that,
Yeah.
and that has to be CG, and it was
yeah.
very
Would've never
real.
even
Like,
thought so.
oh, they're
Oh, you
throwing
mean like when they're-
flames on a people.
When the people are covered with flames, that
Yeah.
part?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was. It didn't look phony.
Right.
I mean, you know, it was supposed to be funny, but
Yeah.
it looked like flames were cooking someone. So 10.
Okay.
10.
I was gonna say it's not like it doesn't apply in a way that it would for a monster movie, but
Right.
they were extremely well done.
Yes.
There was nothing that it went like, oh, it looks like
That's
a
not
rubber,
real.
a rubber something.
Exactly.
Would you consider this an action movie? Or is
No,
it a
no.
crime story?
No,
No drama.
Just a drama.
It's a
Okay,
drama.
drama. Okay.
but it had its moments. I
Was
mean,
it-
like,
Bit of a thriller. Is it a?
and
It's
if you
Quentin
just
Tarantino.
say drama, that makes it just sound like monotone, more on the sad or serious side. But there
I
were
am-
plenty of moments where
A
you
lot of
chuckle.
it was.
IMDb has it as comedy drama.
Yeah,
How about
I
that?
mean, I would.
Okay.
It's more
Huh.
drama than comedy, obviously.
For
but
sure.
there were plenty of moments, even when the scene was kind of dark, where you laughed. You got
Yes.
a smirk or a
Yes.
chuckle out of it.
So,
So
whatever,
how would you rate funny?
how would you rate funny?
Good laughs. When I laughed hard.
yeah, I think
Alright.
it was effective.
Good laughs.
Quality.
Not like belly laughs, like they're going for
Which
laughs
they
the whole
weren't. It
time.
wasn't supposed to be.
No.
Well, I would
No,
say
but
that the laughs, none of
it
them,
was subtle.
if they were trying to make you laugh, they all worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, that was supposed to be funny, I didn't laugh.
Good point.
Everything
Not
that was
once
supposed
did
to be
that
funny,
happen.
Yeah.
Was,
it was
funny.
funny. It was funny.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, guys, it doesn't take a math genius to figure
Right.
this
It's,
out.
we pretty
Everything's
much
10,
give
10,
it a
10.
solid 10.
So you're rating it a 10, which is an A+.
A+ movie.
But I think that applies.
All right.
I would
Yeah,
definitely
I would
say
buy
this
it
is.
immediately.
I would.
I would say it's up. It's going to be a Best Picture nominee.
And you're going to see
Guaranteed.
it again?
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna
you're
see it
still
again.
at Oscars? Okay.
Especially Leo. I think that like he just
Yeah.
his dialect and like the way he dove in
Yeah.
for a lot of those scenes and just the vulnerability that he pulled out for
It
that.
did. And the way that he shot him to allow that, where they would do an extended scene of what would have been him actually filming an old movie, you know, and they're in there and they're just going through it, cameras moving around, and then he'll blow a line and they'll just like restart. And so you're almost like right in there with them
Oh, yeah.
during this like process of
The camera would swing back
yeah,
around.
you know, and they almost just break the scene just there, you know, when
Right.
that happens. Otherwise, you think it's really happening.
Yeah, that fourth wall was very thin.
Yeah.
How about Leo,
Few
like,
moments.
Very cool.
a lot of throat clearing and
Yeah.
spitting?
Because
Right.
he smoked 27 packs of cigarettes a day.
Oh, God,
I mean,
he
just
smoked.
constant. It was. Did you notice that?
Yes.
If he wasn't like swallowing liquid, he was smoking.
Yeah.
Yes. Same with Brad Pitt as well.
Which
so
is
it's
69.
called Once Upon
It
a
was,
Time
right.
in Hollywood. So this really puts you in the kind of Hollywood of the 60s. It really
100%.
felt like it.
So beautiful. That to me
Okay.
was what it was.
It was like
Okay,
the
that's what it was
golden
about.
era of Hollywood.
Time
Is
capsule.
what he,
Alright.
yeah.
And then they throw a little Manson in there for a little spice.
Right, you're getting a slice of life, a little ride with these three characters through, you know, a couple of weeks or whatever of their life.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I think I'm gonna see that.
Awesome.
Before
Highly
it's-
recommended.
I would
All right.
definitely see it again.
What else you been doing, Bill, while you've been gone? I know you had possibly some.
Yeah, you know.
That was terrible. We're gonna edit that. I didn't know where we should go, so I was like,
What you
Is
been
there
watching?
Like,
"What you been watching?"
yeah,
Nice.
make it.
We don't have a sound. We should have a sound for what you've been watching.
I know.
What? Why don't you just do it live? What you been watching? Can we come up with a jingle, Bill?
Sure.
What you
What
been
you
watching?
Okay, hold on a second.
Not
What you been
much. How
watching?
about you? Well, that's a show on NPR.
just a second.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I think I'm gonna see that.
I want to go see it again.
We didn't end that very well. Hold on a second.
Whatever of their life. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Can't wait to see it. And then,
Okay,
what have
I'll-
you been watching?
Just gonna have one little sip. Just a little sip.
Weeks or whatever of their life. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Okay, so you're going to talk about what you've been watching.
Sure.
And then that's the end of the show,
All right.
right?
Do we not want anyone
Perfect.
else to mention anything?
Oh,
Me
okay.
too.
Oh,
Watching.
what you've been watching,
We'll do a circle.
and
of
then
that.
we're done.
Right. Very small.
And just to give you a preview of what I'm going to talk about, Another Life, which he's seen the whole show. I've only
Okay.
seen
Most of
two. Should I
You-
mention Lion King real quick? Jessica
You did
Jones-
already.
Oh, I did. Okay. The Boys, I didn't mention.
You mentioned that in our pre-show.
Okay, but not.
No.
Okay.
Did you watch it? Did you watch Some Boys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, stop.
good. I want to hear
All
about
right,
that.
let's hear it loud.
All right.
Okay, 1 second.
Whatever of their life. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Well, I do recommend you see it immediately. How about what you've been watching, Bill?
Yeah. Well, right. I haven't been on for a while, so I've been
A huge
renting
list.
things and watching on Netflix.
Banking.
One quick rental that I like, it almost as a guilty pleasure, Escape Room. I think it.
Mm.
Now sometimes you at home you don't have time to watch a whole thing, and
Okay.
you just kind of turn it on when you're in the room and you sit
When
down.
you have a minute, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, they're in an escape room. So you've probably seen the preview where a bunch of people think they're in a game, and the game's a little extra real. Okay, so they're in this one room, and all of a sudden it gets to really, really hot, and it turns into an oven, and it's going to burn them. They have to get all these clues to
Jesus.
escape. They figured out that they had to fill these glasses with water, where you get the water and you put it on a little cup, and it makes a door open. Some of the people in there were real smart, so it was very cleverly written. Each room that they escaped to, I'll tell you that it was kind of like Final Destination, where people keep dying one by one. Okay.
You escape
But-
from one room and go to the next
So I
room?
need to pick
Right,
a
but
dark
not everybody
horse at the beginning of the
escapes.
film.
Oh,
Right,
like-
not everybody escapes.
It's like
Yeah.
the cube.
Could be, yes, like the cube.
There you go.
And I'll tell you, it was fun. In fact, I'll tell you that even I watched it on my computer, and I just watched one room at a time, and it was so powerful that I was going, wow, I need to take a break. And I'd turn it off,
Really?
and I'd come back later, and the next room would be just as fun. And they do, it's kind of, trashy like Final Destination that way. It's not, going to win
Where
any
did you see
Academy
it?
Awards.
Where is
I just rented it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so you can rent it.
And you watched it on a computer.
Yeah, I just
Wow.
threw it in. I have a DVD player.
Okay, cool.
What else? You been
Okay,
watching?
going on to just quickly, Jessica Jones finally finished that.
Oh.
I wanted to.
I have
finish
not
it.
finished it.
I haven't finished it.
I love that Trish is a big part of this season.
Yeah, and I just
She's
tell you,
always-
they just, when they have this season, they just stretch it out too long.
Yeah,
It,
I
it just
think
doesn't
I
have
agree.
the action.
It doesn't. I wasn't. It's tough for me to finish the show because it's not like it's not really fun ever. That is like really good, but it's never like enjoyable.
Yeah.
She's
Never
so
uplifts you.
never uplifting. I mean,
No,
she's,
she
what about
keeps
The Handmaid?
drinking, and
What about the Handmaid?
that's similar. That's
Okay.
similar in that it's like
Yeah, I wonder why that's
Always
so
a downer?
popular.
What do you
yeah, it's very difficult. You're hoping for some redemption or something in the end. Is there some? Is it come to a conclusion?
It's not satisfying.
Ah.
Yeah, it does come to a conclusion.
Ah.
Actually, it kind of leaves things just a teeny bit open, but it's a lot about Trish being Hellcat.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna ever see
I know. I was gonna say I don't
I
have
would
time
say
in my life for that
pass it.
kind of feeling
I would
right
say
now.
pass it. Sorry, I love
There you go.
the main character.
Big Bang
but-
Boom.
Big
Yeah.
Bang Boom.
All right,
What
just
else?
quick. I know we're not into political stuff here, but you probably heard that Facebook just got fined $5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of dates back to 2011 and 2015. It'll freak you out. There's a show,
Oh.
documentary called The Hack.
I watched the trailer to that. That looks very interesting.
It will blow your mind
It's
how
all
they.
about
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
it's
Yes.
all about data collection and how we're being surveyed so
And
closely.
Not only that, how they can
Surveillance.
put stuff on there to actually change.
Mm.
There's this.
Sure.
I'll give you one quick example and I'll
Real
move
quick.
on. But it's very interesting.
Shape
Tr-
Opinions by
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago. That's half black and half Indian population, 50-50.
okay.
So they actually created a movement where the blacks would say, "We're not going to vote," and they were hired by the Indian people to create this. And sure enough, the Indians didn't vote. The blacks didn't vote. The Indians won by 40%. You know, because they just created this, and they did this in many different countries,
Yeah.
not just in Europe, and they did it all over. So you will just be blown. It has changed some of the laws. You know, $5 billion Facebook. I suggest watch that.
It's
Okay.
very serious.
right.
That is our future.
Only
Not
saw
my future.
two
Scary.
shows.
I don't particularly care because they can do whatever they want.
I'm cutting the cord.
I think I don't have anything to
Adam,
hide.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
cut.
they-
I'm gonna cut the
Anyone?
cord completely.
Don's like, tell me what I like.
I love
Go
to
ahead.
be, I love to be led. You know, Disney, tell me what to think.
All right, go to Amazon for The Boys.
That
So-
I've been.
I just
like
looked
that.
that up because I
This has got
Click it
good
up.
writing.
really.
Ooh.
This, I mean, you're gonna after one show, you're just gonna go, "Whew, jeez, I need a break."
What's
I
the
mean,
premise?
Okay, the premise is that these heroes
Mm-hmm.
are kind of bound together by a corporation
Okay.
that markets them,
So it's a
and-
universe where we have superheroes and,
and
they're
they
all,
make money.
Okay.
So you know, like, remember Clark Kent? He never had a decent job. Well,
Right.
in this, they make money.
By doing what?
By doing superhero things. So she's
Like
bidding.
government
She's
contracts?
bidding. Yeah, she's bidding with Israel.
Right.
Okay, for 300 million, we can put. No, she's bidding with a city. Okay, like Detroit. All right, for 300 million, we'll put this superhero in your town, and we'll lower. We guarantee to lower the crime by 30%.
Oh my gosh.
And he's no, I'll give
What
you
an
200
interesting premise.
It would be
million.
great if they could do stuff like at work occasionally.
Yeah.
We are always going, how could we do this? You know, to bring a crane in or something. But if you just had someone that could pick up like
Yes,
4 tons and just move it a little bit
right.
without a
How much
crane.
money would that
love
save?
it.
Oh
Could
my
you
God.
move that
Oh.
island over there, Superman?
If we had
Yeah.
the Hulk,
So-
we could just get
all right.
all our projects done
And
in
this
1 week.
is R-rated. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
There's a scene where they take on this new girl into the 7,
okay.
and one of the guys wants her to have sex with him, or he'll say, you know, I'll say just not working. And she's worked her life to be a superhero to join the 7. These are the top 7 of the superheroes.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
so like, you know, magically
Nice.
he's just
That
ready to
would
go, and it's very naughty.
Now,
Okay.
isn't the boys a group of people that are sort of working against this group?
Right.
So the real heart of it is not the 7. It's actually a group of people that are
The
kind
anti?
of the anti.
Yeah, remember on Star Trek Bones? That's Carl Urban.
Carl Urban,
Right.
yes.
So this has got a black beard. He is that
It's in a lot of good stuff.
that group, and he begins starting to rebel against them.
He's normal.
Yeah, I don't see he has any superpowers yet.
Okay.
He's just really smart, and he goes, you know, here's a bug. I want you to put it inside their place, and well, let's hear it. But like they got an invisible man that catches them, so they don't get away with
trying
it.
to combat the corruptness of this 7.
Right.
Sure.
And so they're very corrupt, and they show how corrupt. Even they think this one guy is not corrupt, he's corrupt. That all so it's all that corruption, fighting the corruption of superheroes.
How many have you seen?
I've only seen 2.
And what? Where am I going to find that?
That's Amazon for free.
Amazon.
Amazon streaming.
Wow, good for Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good one.
Another one, and you told me you watched almost the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us where we find them also.
Yes, Netflix.
Netflix.
Another Life.
Thank
Yeah.
I just wanted to do
Nice.
that.
I know. He had his finger on the
you.
button.
He hit his finger on the button.
I'll just give you a quick rating of this. The sound and all that, excellent. I give that, you know, good B+. Sci-fi production, you got to see the first show just for that spaceship. It looks like
Very cool.
like a silver infinity symbol
Yes.
that's like moving.
Right. It's a kind of almost like a
I'm confused. Did we change the movie?
Another
well,
one.
Another
another
life.
life.
Another
It's a
one.
sci-fi.
life,
Oh,
so
it's a
it's a-
sci-fi.
Sci-fi about a
Spaceship,
giant
yeah.
spaceship that he's just
I'm
describing
sorry.
comes
Okay.
and then lands and then becomes a giant crystal tower.
Yeah, all of a sudden, just like
And then they're trying to
in
figure out what's up.
Annihilation, where you had that covering of Florida. Remember that eerie
The
thing?
shimmer.
The shimmer.
Right.
In this one, it's a really cool crystal rock that
Right.
forms over it.
So they begin to try to communicate with it, and they can't communicate with it. So a group of people decide to get into a spaceship and go to where it came from.
Because
To
they
talk
can
to the
see
people
where,
on-
yeah,
yeah.
they can track
Yeah.
where it's
Right.
communicating
Yeah.
to.
The people.
The people, right. We're-
So the spaceship, they
But not
track
people.
where it goes.
Right.
So
Right, so that's really the whole show
Well,
is
tell
the
me.
journey of this group. So it's
on a spaceship,
Sackhoff, was that the name of the actress?
right?
You've
Kate
seen-
Sackhoff,
She's been in Battlestar Galactica.
right? You
would
probably
go from
remember
there.
her. She was like the main star of that.
Super fit,
Uh,
good looking.
she was called
blonde.
Starbuck.
Starbuck, yeah. So she's
Blonde.
from there. There is a
Now she's 45.
Her husband in the show plays a scientist who is actually kind of running things on Earth while she
Right,
simultaneously leaves to go on a 6-month journey to talk, just to communicate.
exploratory mission. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. So let me pause this a little bit.
You bet.
Now, just tell me, is it when you're gonna? Does it feel like you're gonna make it through all the way?
What
or-
would you say, Bill? After 2,
I would say if you are a sci-fi fan,
Well, I
you'll
am.
get through it. Yeah,
You will.
I'd say it's worth it. But there are some major little screenwriting, screenplay problems that just piss me off. I'll just give you a little one.
I have a lot of
Okay.
problems. With
Okay, so you know, like in Star Trek, they all wear uniforms.
Oh.
Well, okay, yeah, they're wearing nightclub clothes.
They make a
Chicks
point.
have, like
They make a-
sexy clothes on.
They make a
On
point
the
to
spaceship?
go. They make a point to go. Oh yeah, 10 years ago we got rid of uniforms, and that's like a part of. They're supposed to be setting the future. This is so in
That's supposed to
in
be
the army.
progressive?
Yeah, we don't have uniforms anymore on ships, so everybody gets to walk around in their like street clothes, and that's another thing that is everybody's way too good looking and young,
super.
and it's like. I don't believe this would be the 8 people you send 6 months.
Well,
you know,
got it. If you're gonna.
No,
it's like
when you watch
You're
like an
gonna save the good
aliens
ones.
movie.
you're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna send
more-
Brad Pitt
Yeah.
and Matt Damon
Right.
and Margot Robbie and
And
Glenn
they're not going to be
Close.
dressed up. Yeah, like one of the gals,
Just-
she's got like a top on that has, like strips gone so you can see her like cleavage and her,
Right, oh yeah,
her bare
sexy
shoulders.
Yeah, she's
You're
like,
not
maybe
gonna
it's more
do
comfortable.
that.
communications
Okay,
engineer.
yeah, okay.
How long are they gone for?
Only supposed to be 90 days.
No, it's supposed to be 6 months.
Oh,
It's
6
supposed to be 3
months?
months there and 3 months back.
I would want comfortable clothes.
Yeah.
right.
Okay, all right.
And
so
how many people are on the ship?
You get about
well, you have
half
more.
a dozen
How
to
many?
10.
That's the thing. So comfortable. You
10,
need-
but they have a whole bunch that are
In-
sleeping.
Right, they're all in stasis.
Okay,
like
and
in
if-
drawers.
So are they 10 single people probably?
Of
Yes, at
course.
this
Well,
point, yeah, there's no
except
sex.
for the
Then maybe
leader.
they would want to wear some clothes to impress.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
show a little cleavage.
Right, I mean,
see.
You have 6 months.
Dave's like, I
Do
show
they
my
get that going?
cleavage.
Any romances going? 'Cause you've seen
Oh,
shows.
for sure. Yeah, they
Okay.
totally do. Of course, when they come out of the pods, they're wearing sexy like, Sigourney Weaver and aliens coming out in their bra and panties, except they're
Okay.
like modern. And everybody's really good looking. And no, personally, I think middle of the road, mediocre, nothing special.
You'll never finish it.
C plus maybe.
I would give it a
go
C+.
C.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing. It's not like.
I'm not gonna clear my space for it.
Right, it's not like some sort of new alien sci-fi that you've never seen before.
No
But it's
nude
very
cake.
high
It's a first
production
contact,
Super high.
story, not quite as good as Lost in Space.
You can see the money that they spent. This is
They did spend
very,
some.
so if you
Really?
redid Battlestar Galactica nowadays, the quality of the ship and everything,
Pretty
perfect.
pretty good. Although you'll get into some of the later episodes and it's like, meh.
All right, well, I wanted to say that they have 11 different writers for 10 shows.
Oh wow.
So maybe it gets better. I don't know. It stays the same. You get
I
Your
would
opinion
say
stayed right where it was.
if you liked the first couple, you'd probably like it. It's
All right.
like it's something to watch.
all right. Good
Okay.
enough. So that's all I got.
How about you, Kelly? What you been watching? Anything?
Another movie that I was going to throw out there that I just happened to see, it's from 2015 called Legend. And it's a true story, and it's also in the 1960s, so that's what kind of reminded me. And it also had a little bit of that, like, violent funny,
Wow.
flaw to it.
Tell us more.
So it's
Who's in it? What's it about?
Tom Hardy is the lead, and he plays both identical twin gangsters in London 1960s.
Oh, wow.
So also very, like, immersive in another time, and very violent. If you're in the mood for like a gangster movie,
Ooh,
and a time capsule gangster movie, it gets dark at a few moments for sure, but the majority, especially like the first half, I'd say, is funny violent. Like you manage to chuckle about people's noses getting broken somehow. But I'm always really interested in a character, like a lead actor playing two lead roles. You know what I mean? He's playing two identical twins, and they're the main characters, and they're very, obviously they have their similar veins, but they're also very different.
I'm seeing it's a biography.
Mm-hmm.
Is it some sort of real story?
Yes, they are true. It was
Did you already say that?
they terrorized London. It was like organized crime. They were in big with like the politicians and celebrities, and they, nightclubs and all kinds of stuff. So it, like I said, if you're in the movie for
More
a
60s
gangster
stuff.
movie, yeah, for
Is
sure.
it a little bit earlier 60s?
Yeah, it's
Closer
more
to
like 1950s into 1960s.
Okay,
So a little bit
that's the earlier stuff.
predates this, but it was definitely worth seeing. And
How'd you run across that?
it was on when we were at someone else's house, and then we kind of like it started and we fell into it, and then you had to keep watching. So
It's
sometimes
called
that's
The
like,
Legend or Legend?
I think it's just Legend. Do
Okay.
you have it up there, John?
Yep, it is just Legend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Ronnie and Reggie Cray were notorious gangsters.
That does sound interesting when you do have one character playing two characters.
And they're in
or
every.
one actor playing
Like
two
it blew my mind just thinking about how they shot it, because
that's
they're side by side through the entire movie. They're in every scene together, and they have fight scenes together.
So do you think do they like have like a double in there?
Yeah.
And then they just.
And then he's
got
to go back and basically film the whole movie again.
Wow, that's gotta be tough.
Right. So interesting for that, but worth a mention.
I do like Tom Hardy.
Have you seen anything like
Yeah.
that?
I watched the latest season of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
Any good cars besides the actors? I know you're probably good.
Yes, you will love them, Dave. So the first one is Eddie Murphy, and that's a great one. It's not super funny, but it's really good to see Eddie Murphy. He tells a lot of stories.
Okay.
He tells like stories about just the past and just some really gritty stuff that you wouldn't know. And he is in a 2005 Porsche Carrera
Ooh,
GT.
very expensive.
Yeah, like a supercar. And
Yeah, that's the one that Paul Walker died in. Just so you know.
that one you have Seth Rogen in like an old Mercury Marauder, like an old shitty car.
Sounds about right.
And that one is really funny.
That's what
Well,
he would
how
have.
old of a Mercury Marauder?
Like a 75.
Okay.
And it's like painted almost like Blues Brothers-y.
Fun.
It's just like
Cool.
I can't remember who is in a brand new Lamborghini Huracan.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome. I think it might be Matthew Broderick.
Are they renting these cars?
They get them from people. Just kind of donate them. There's always like a special thanks at the end from where the car came.
None
from.
of them are Jerry's cars, are they?
I would imagine there's got.
Maybe that
Porsche,
They must have.
maybe.
The Porsche
It must have
GT,
been
I'm
at
sure he
least.
has.
He's a bit of a collector.
He's
Yeah,
a huge
Porsche
Porsche
guy.
guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
like, so-
huge Porsche guy. But there's some heavy hitters. Pretty good. I would recommend.
Eddie
that show.
Murphy, you said, was the first guy.
Eddie Murphy, right, and Seth Rogen and Matthew Broderick. Those three are pretty big heavy hitters. There's a couple other just comedians, but
I
quality.
could listen to him talk to anybody.
Yeah, he does one where he's on Italian Vespas driving around
Yes.
with this Italian comedian that he's had on before. I don't know, I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny.
That sounds awesome.
They're all little hats
Put that
on.
on my list as
Is
well.
that it?
That's it.
I've been watching
What have you been watching?
Nosferatu,
Ooh, you did mention
Yeah.
that.
the AMC show where it's the license plate NOS. whatever, and
Right.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
What's the description of what are we talking about?
It is.
Is it a movie?
It's a
Is it a
vampire.
series?
It's a vampire series.
Okay.
It's a series, and it's an unusual story. It's kind of
Time period?
no, it's modern day.
Okay, so modern
and,
day.
I don't know. It has enough stuff that keeps you watching.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not
Sure.
the greatest show,
Not the great, but if you like
but they'll throw something in there like, ooh,
vampire-y stuff,
It
Yeah.
keeps it interesting.
keeps it interesting.
is it got a
Basically,
new
it's-
twist?
Well, it's basically the bad vampire.
Mhm.
What I know so far is he has a place that he takes kids to called Christmas Land or something like that. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Sounds
And-
creepy.
sounds very creepy.
Right.
What we've learned so far, he drives a 19.
For what purpose? How evil are we talking?
I don't know because I'm a little confused. He has a 1928 Rolls Royce Wraith that he drives.
Cool
All
car.
right.
And what I have found out is that that car is keeping him alive.
That's weird. How is that?
And also, like I
Like
thought
Tony
it was
Stark's
the kid.
heart, but for a vampire.
Like if he steals a
I
kid,
don't know.
he'll start to de-age and get younger.
Oh, he's stealing their essence.
Yeah, he
Wow.
there's a lot of aging and quickly, like, you know, like his car was broken and he immediately just fell to the ground. Where
Oh.
he was crumbling and the guy, he's like, you need to get a water pump for this Wraith.
Oh
And then
wow.
put the water, he was like ready to die.
So this is like
and they're
his
filling the
support
radiator
system, his life
and
support
he
system.
comes
is the car.
back to
Wow.
life.
That's cool.
I see Zachary
Sounds
Quinto
intense.
is in it.
Yeah, he's the
he's,
bad guy.
he's the lead. Okay, plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it
Interesting. All right.
a recommend. Check it out. Check it
Alright.
out. That's it. That's a show.
All right.
Hey,
We did it.
we did it. We
Movie
finally.
Chatter Podcast at gmail.com. I'm gonna get all these in this time.
Mm.
Yeah, or you can write to me too. I love to hear. I'm at Movie Chatter Podcast 54 at gmail.com.
Nice.
Really?
Check out our YouTube at Movie Chatter Space or Movie Space Chatter Podcast.
So it's movie, then
A
Chatter
space.
Podcast.
Yep. At gmail.com, or just do Movie Space Chatter Podcast to get to the YouTube channel.
Okay. You can't just join Instagram. It's the
Instagram.
easiest.
That's the
Become
better
an
way.
Instagram subscriber,
To Movie Chatter Podcast.
and then just go to our bio, and we have a link tree,
There you go.
and it will take you to everything.
This
Okay.
episode will be fully available on video.
Did the last episode make it with?
It never did. I may eventually go through that. There was a sound problem where I don't know how to use technology, and the sound was going loud and quiet and loud and quiet.
There's a learning
Maybe
curve.
you'll see an excerpt.
And I'm told that we're gonna get some vintage stuff showing up.
Oh, very exciting stuff.
I can't wait for that.
All of the stuff that Dave and I did when we were drunk 10 years ago
10?
on Saturday.
Classic.
20.
Okay, about 20, yeah.
God.
We're old
I
now,
love it.
right? Maybe 25.
Should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah, there's some Dave making a hamburger for
Oh,
like
boy.
16 minutes. And a lot of shots of
Oh
tequila.
boy.
That's when I rediscovered tequila.
Rediscovered.
We have a movie
Oh,
called.
Paulette got married. I got sick on tequila.
Ooh.
Bachelor party. Didn't drink tequila from 1985 till
Did
the
that?
week of that video.
Wow.
Well,
This
that
is fun.
should be good.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
Until
Over
next
and out.
time, goodbye.
See you, boys.
Later. There we go. It's a tight ending.
It was a tidy.
Quite like a
All
tiger.
right.
Well,
No
feel free
cursing
to watch
until I
this
hit the
if anybody
pause
wants.
button. Just hit stop here. Hopefully it's still running. Ooh, there you go. Hour and 33.
And don't you leave
Hour
because
and
you're going
19
to do that.